Welcome to the show today. Guess what? I was thinking about this and I thought this is a really good day to start asking you some questions about your relationships. What relationships am I talking about? Well, not just your relationship with your partner. I'm talking about your relationships with your friends, your work colleagues, your business partners, your children, the man in the corner shop, just relationships that you normally have, and they're quite seamless initially, but how they get affected by the changes of mood that you suffer through with the change of hormones. Yeah, let's address that, because I'm pretty sure some of you have felt some of these changes and don't know what's happening. So we're going to address that today. If this is something that's affected you, this show's just for you. You know what's happening? Our relationships are failing because we are failing to realize that some of the problems are starting with us. No, it does not mean there's something wrong with you. Of course there isn't. But it just means that you need to reassess the situations, because we're now finding ourselves through these changes, we're now realizing that we are not as good at communicating as we thought we were. When you're younger, you have this way of just gliding through things in a relationship, and nothing really, you don't put too much thought into anything. It is what it is. But as you get older and as you get more tired, because remember, you're not sleeping that much, you're having problems with fatigue in general, everything has become a lot for you because you're going through all these changes, and that hormone that gives you the patience is now subsiding. The ones which stop anxiety is now subsiding. All of them are going downhill, and you're following it down there with the way you treat people. We have to stop this. We have to talk about it today. Let's talk about what happens and what we can do about it, because we definitely don't need to be on our own. This is a journey that some of us take and think that it's just us that are experiencing this, and it isn't. There's a whole lot of ladies out there that need our help. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it, girls. And at this point in life, because your brain is just, the patience level is quite low, the tolerance is low for small talk and for just conversations that you've probably had several times over the years. You just don't even want to hear it anymore. You're just too tired and snappy and moody, and rather just spend your time on your own and do whatever you need to do for yourself. It becomes a time that people start to feel rejected, and that's a big thing, right? Because if you feel rejected, you know how that makes you feel internally, what it does to you emotionally. So for someone else to feel rejected because of you is not something that you would have thought of. But then it does transpire that way because you're behaving differently. So it's something to think about, because it doesn't just happen with your partner. The person who lives with you is now going to also be rippling. It has a ripple effect into your relationships outside of your house. Grown-up children that have left home, and because of the stresses and pressures that you have in your life, some people are actually looking after parents who are elderly and ill. Some people are looking after their children that may be unwell. You may have grandchildren to be picking up from school, and now you have to navigate that as well with your lifestyle. You may have a lot of other responsibilities that you didn't really necessarily have a few years ago. And even if you had them a few years ago, things were different then. Your body could manage it, your brain could manage it, but now you're in a different space and place. Everything just becomes overwhelming. And this is why it ends up affecting your relationships, because it's affecting you. And how you behave is different. So yeah, I found that to be really interesting. And so now I want to talk about, how do we actually deal with that? And what do we do about it? Because it's really important not to leave it like that, to fester. Things change, and that's fine, but you need to address those changes so your relationships don't just dwindle and disappear and leave you wondering what happened. Something to think about. Some good questions that you could ask yourself. Am I projecting? You want to know if you're projecting your feelings onto other people. Are you making other people feel uncomfortable and not realizing that you're doing it? Ask yourself if there's something that you feel that you need right now that you're not actually openly asking for. Because sometimes that's what it's about. Sometimes you just need some time out from people, some space to think. Sometimes you just need a bit more rest. Sometimes you need your work schedule to be adapted a little bit, because you also have the relationships with the people at work. And those are important relationships as well. Sometimes you work for people, you work in the same department for years, with the same people for years. They probably know you just as well in a different capacity, but they know you just as well as the people that you live with in your house. So you don't want to lose those relationships, especially when you want to work with people, or you need to have good, strong working relationships in order for the department to feel really comfortable to work in. And you have to consider the fact that you may be working 8 to 12 hour shifts a day. Who wants to work in an environment for so long and you're uncomfortable and unhappy? It's just not on, is it? We need to be radically honest with ourselves and take a good look at ourselves, because one thing you can never do is change somebody else. We've established that already. So let's think about, how do we deal with ourselves and be honest about how we're feeling and what we can do about it. Because I think one of the keys is to be able to tell somebody else, I'm feeling like this and I feel like I need this, whatever that might be. And people, you'll find they're usually more receptive than you think they would be, because not understanding and not knowing makes people think you just bring things up in your brain and just make up stuff. You know that. We've all done it. You make up things in your brain according to your narrative is basically what you've made up in your head. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants you to be making up stuff in your head about what you think. You need to have actual facts. But other people do that all the time. So we need to be aware that people will be making up things in their head about what you feel for them when it's not necessary. If you're open and honest, then they will know exactly where you are. And sometimes it's likely that people have gone through the same thing or are going through the same thing themselves. So they will have maybe some tips and tricks for you that you haven't even thought about. Sometimes you have to be very aware that you may be projecting your negative feelings at that time onto other people, which is really unfair. Let's think of some practical tips, sis. Let's talk about some practical tips that will help us not to embarrass ourselves in public and be arguing about things that we didn't even know were a problem when we woke up in that morning. So let's think about this. Okay, so I would say, off the top of my head, I think that it's really important to create a safe space where you can talk to people and be really honest, as I've already said. Pausing before you respond makes a massive difference to what comes out of your mouth, because I think sometimes we forget that we're the ones that are in control of this mouth, and the mouth can do some stuff. A tangent, it can just go off on one, and by the time it comes out, you are not going to realize until it's too late. So pause, take a minute, and then respond. Because there are things that trigger you that don't need to trigger you. And sometimes if you respond too quickly, usually your response is inappropriate to what was said to you in the first place. That's what will start the argument or start the resentment. We don't want that. So we try to pause and then speak. We can also schedule when we talk to people. It doesn't always have to be at a time when they think you're going to be okay to speak, because sometimes you're tired, you're stressed, you have other things on your plate at the time. And so it becomes a problem to be involving yourself in a deep conversation with someone. You can end up saying the wrong things. So maybe schedule for another day, another time, and please stick to it, because we must always value each other's time. If you don't value the other person's time, then that also shows a lack of respect and caring for that other person. So the fact that they agree for a schedule, stick to it. I also think that there's times when you can use your body, especially when you're dealing with family within the home, for example, or situations that have exploded over the phone, for another example. I think that there's something to be said for walking. I know that sounds like, but who does that? Who actually gets up and walks when they've got something to say? You need to just say what you need to say. Sometimes you don't need to say anything because you think you need to say something, but you don't. So what you can do is get up and take a walk. A walk outside, a walk to the local shops and back, a walk in the park around the corner, just something. Walk for a good while, just so you can release that stress. I think it really helps a lot because I've done it so much. I think I walk myself right to the end of the earth. If there was a way of walking to the end of the earth, I would have been there. I think walking does a lot to release that stress. Then when you come back into a situation, you're coming back with a different mindset. You're calmer. For one, you're exhausted. Hopefully you get to sleep as well. That would be nice, wouldn't it? If you get some sleep, that would be a treat. Of course, you know that I'm not a doctor. If you really have big issues, I think that you would need to see your GP or a health professional to talk about HRT. Because I know there's a lot of people say a lot of negative stuff about HRT. I actually tried all the natural remedies first. So I went from the black cosh and the evening primrose and some other things. I tried quite a few things on the natural side, and I did them for a good year to a year and a half, and they really didn't help. Things started to ramp up after about a year, and then I decided that I'd go to the GP and see what can happen. And actually, my GP was quite reluctant to give me anything, and they were saying that I should try more of the natural products. So I went back to the drawing board and I went back and tried a few other things, and they didn't help. And it got to a stage where when it came to work, I was having a lot of problems at work, not being able to concentrate, breaking down all the time emotionally, just not being able to, because I couldn't remember just basic things. I actually thought I had dementia at one point. I really did. I was confused most of the time. And then I was having a lot of urinary tract infections, which I'd never had before, and I couldn't understand why I kept getting these urinary tract infections. I hadn't changed anything in my diet. I wasn't drinking less water. There was nothing externally that was happening that should tell me that this is the normal thing. This is the normal body response. So I couldn't understand what was happening. And so I went back to the GP and I said I'd like some HRT. So they gave me the lowest dose and they put it in the form of a patch on the skin. So I wore that for a while, and I was, but then because my skin was becoming drier with time, the end result was that because I had to cream myself everywhere, the cream is oil-based emollient creams. You know, because you know that I have eczema already. So I always use oil-based creams anyway, but now it was like a oilier. Let's put it that way. It was oilier. And I was realizing that they were not sticking to my skin. So this is an issue. They kind of hung on a little bit, but they weren't sticking properly, so that whatever is on the inside of that plaster patch should be absorbed into the skin, but it won't be because it's the barrier of oil layer on my skin was stopping it from going in. So what I didn't know, but I addressed it with the GP. I had to, because after a year, nothing's getting better. If anything, it was getting worse. And I was getting hot flushes that were making me almost pass out at work during shift. So I can't have situations like that. I didn't want to not work. Working is something I really enjoy. So it was big. By this time, I was very stressed, very upset, and just not myself. So I didn't know that they had HRT in a tablet form. It was a game changer. I still get a few symptoms here and there, hot flushes, Now and again, I don't get the dizzy spells I used to get, because I did get dizzy spells and think there was something wrong, like I was having vertigo. It was so strange, but I don't get those things anymore unless I have a hot flush that is really bad. But even that I can manage because I know it's not often. These were things that were happening to me several times a day, and some were okay, they were manageable, but other times they were so strong that they were giving me the dizzy spells and making me feel like I was going to pass out. My heart started racing, I was getting palpitations. So all of that was alleviated. I have problems with sleeping. That's something that I am working through. I mean, the tablets don't take away every symptom, but they certainly do help some of us. So I think it's something that you can consider speaking to your GP about. It's something to consider. I would say it's something to consider. So get onto your GP if you have any issues and let them know. But your relationships, we're going to go back to that. We have to deal with that. That one needs to be dealt with like ASAP today, okay? So yes, sister, I want you to take this show. This episode is for all the women out there who have hormonal issues, and I'd like them to understand that we have a community already and they're welcome to join our community. Please subscribe and join and like us. We are here for you. We're here for each other. Please do write in the comments anything that you have as a tip for us that we can share, and it will help us to grow, glow, and flow together. Thank you for listening. Welcome to SP Keeps Talking, and she will, and she does. I'm going to see you in the next episode.